Hi, I'm Catherine Diorio, and welcome to Check Please, the show where regular people from all over Chicago recommend and review their favorite restaurants. So this is how the show works. Every week, we have 3 guests. Each recommends his or her favorite spot, and the other 2 go check them out and see what they think. This week, analytic consultant Sanket Shah has crunched the numbers and says that Lincoln Park and Middle Eastern cuisine add up to a perfect fit. He says for Mediterranean magic, check out his selection. But research coordinator Rebecca Haas says she explored all kinds of restaurants and has found the perfect home away from home. She says for artisanal cuisine with that homegrown feel, join her at her recommendation. Up first, assistant principal Gary Norcross says his pick is a grade above the rest. He says for creative comfort food with a touch of the Irish brogue, head to Andersonville and meet him at Lady Gregory's.
We wanted to put together something that was a warm, friendly atmosphere. We work very hard to pay attention to all the little details. Great quality food made with the finest ingredients and served with a very friendly smile.
We do a lot of locally sourced items, so we use local vendors, deal directly with purveyors. A lot of pride in the food here. We do a wonderful mac and cheese featuring Newski bacon. We have a wonderful chicken pot pie. Our fish and chips is a wonderful dish as well. It's very unpretentious food. It's nice to see that people enjoying the food that's coming out of the kitchen.
I'm proud because I believe that we have really represented what you would find in Ireland very well. What we've done is pretty authentic, and I think we've also managed to get the warm feeling that you get all around.
So Gary, you say Lady Gregory's has something for everyone. Why did you choose it?
I chose it because I love Andersonville. Andersonville is one of those places it's defined by being undefined, and I kind of feel like that Lady Gregory's is that as well. It says it's an Irish pub, but it has a little bit of an English pub to it. It has a little bit of a Scottish pub to it. It's reflective of the neighborhood. The menu is vast. There's a lot of small plates, there's flatbreads, there's burgers and salads, as well as big entrees. I go there regularly and really enjoy the atmosphere as well.
Okay, so I was not sure about the area. I've never really been to Andersonville. As soon as we start getting closer, I noticed that there's tons of people outside enjoying, the weather, and families, dogs. We get inside, and I was expecting pub and kind of, which I'm fine with that, but I wasn't expecting to see or to experience what we did, and pleasantly surprised.
Great. Second, how was your experience?
I loved it. When I went out there, it was a pretty bustling crowd, and the neighborhood, like you said, is very lively. And when we got there, I was thinking traditional Irish, pub, and we were blown away. It was great. They have this giant book full of just hundreds of different whiskeys.
It's like 300 plus, right?
I know, and I'm a big bourbon drinker, and I've had some Scotch as well, different kinds. So I was very impressed with the list as well. And some of the things that we've gotten there were the Brussels sprouts, which was really good, really smoky, not too greasy. They added some paprika to that, and you could definitely taste that smokiness. Because we ended up getting the meatloaf sandwich. We wanted to try a little bit of the meatloaf. That was pretty good. We let it sit a little bit, and I think that was one of our mistakes because it might have dried out a little bit. But it was still tasty, and it was still like a pretty hearty. For the entrees, we ended up getting the fish and chips, and they were perfect. I mean, they came out. It was not too greasy and soggy.
Yeah.
We really loved the sauce, the tartar sauce. It had a little bit of lime in it, or lemon in it. And then we ended up also getting on the side some of the mac and cheese with bacon, and the portion was huge. And
it's also very rich. Right?
Oh, yeah,
it's one of those things you share at the restaurant.
Absolutely, and we enjoyed it quite a bit. And we also got the glazed carrots in the whiskey glaze.
Oh, that sounds
and,
good.
And they were really good. So then we also got the shepherd's pie. And the nice thing that
classic.
I've never had it before, and I loved it. It was perfect. And, my girlfriend had mentioned that this is the perfect dish, like the dead of winter. You want to come in and you want to just order this and curl up and just go to town.
One of my favorite things is the one of the flatbreads. So they have 3 different flatbreads. The one that I really like has prosciutto, and it has a little Amish blue cheese, which has a really nice tang to it. There's one on that's a rosemary chicken. That's also very good. Did you see that on the menu? Which had
The
a
people
really
sitting
nice
next to us
potato.
order that. I'm like,
Oh, it's really good.
but I
It's
couldn't
really
eat
good.
anymore.
Yeah. There's a new item on the menu that I just tried, which is a Buddha bowl, which is a brown rice dish with some kale and bok choy, and I had that with chicken. They offer it with tofu as well, or salmon, and I really enjoy that dish.
And that's not something you'd usually find when you think Irish pub. That's not really a dish
Right.
you'd expect to find.
Yeah, they have some really unusual things too for pubs, which I really enjoy.
Great. Rebecca, I know that you had the Buddha bowl.
did.
So were you surprised to find that kind of dish on the menu?
Yes. So, I was anticipating everything being fried or super heavy, and it wasn't. So I saw that, I got that, and I was really surprised there were so many fresh vegetables in there, and I didn't feel guilty eating it because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go off my diet. Everything's gonna go downhill after this, but it was really good. I like the cauliflower steak. We didn't know what a cauliflower steak was. That's kind of why we're like, let's check this out, see what it is. We loved it. There was 4 of us at the table. We devoured it. They're very good with their vegetables, I must say.
Sanket, you went with a group of friends. If you go back, who would you take next time?
It's one of those places where I think you can take families or kids, or you can bring a group of friends of yours. The atmosphere was great. I mean, you're not feeling too stuffy in there, and it's just it's got kind of that sophisticated indoor feel to it, but at the same time, you're having a great time with friends and family.
Well, the owners, Mark Hornan and Paul Sheehan, they are partners, and they're Irish. No surprise there, probably. They said they really wanted this to be something reflective of the neighborhood, much the way an Irish pub would be. It's a public house, so where the neighborhood's going to come, get together, eat food, have some beers, and chat with one another.
And it's, there's so many different little kind of vignettes within the restaurant. There's a community table right in the front window, which seats about 10 people, and I've seen people who don't know each other sitting there enjoying, breaking bread together and having some wine and some nice bourbon. There's people sitting at the bar, of course. They've got this wonderful room, I don't know if you visited, in the very back, where they have like almost a little fireplace and library thing going on. People bring their kids there. There are game boards in the back. It just really has this kind of really cool local neighborhood feel.
Well, Gary, you chose Lady Gregory's. Sum it up for us.
Lady Gregory's is this wonderful neighborhood place that people go to really feel at home.
Great. And Rebecca?
Sophisticated pub atmosphere with gourmet food. Check it out.
Sanket?
Great neighborhood, excellent service, and overall great dishes.
You can try the fish and chips and more at Lady Gregory's, 5260 North Clark, 773-271-5050. Open for lunch and dinner every day. Reservations are accepted for parties of 6 or more, and the average tab per person without drinks is $25. When Sanket Shah thinks of falafel and kebabs, he smiles and then he makes a beeline to his favorite spot. He says for the absolute best Mediterranean food in the city, head on over to Halstead and stop in at Dawali.
We decided to come here to give something new to Lincoln Park. When they come here, they're gonna expect fresh food, healthy food, food that is cooked to order, that is different than everyone else. We cut and grind our own meat on a daily basis. We do our salads, everything on a daily basis. So it's really healthy. We cater for everybody, and our customers are from every direction. We do fish specials, we do lamb chops. It's proven that the ingredients and the spices that we use, it's very, very healthy. I really love it because I work here on the station, and they come to the window and they say, you know, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the good food. It's really fresh, it's really good, and we love it. We're gonna come back, and you guys are the best.
Sanket, you said Dawali does it for you. Tell us why you chose it.
Sure, yeah. So my girlfriend and I were on the search for the perfect falafel, something accessible by the Red Line or any L station, and also something that was BYOB. So she did some research and she came across Dawali, and we've been going there for years now, and it hit on, you know, good falafel check, right off the L line check, and then in terms of the BYOB, absolutely, it's there for you. So it's a great atmosphere, amazing, authentic, fresh cuisine, especially that's with Mediterranean food. Sometimes some of the stuff is cooked in advance, but this feels very authentic and fresh to us. And we've been going there for quite a while. And you bring whoever you think you'd have a great time with. And the best part is it is BYOB. So once a couple of bottles of wine are cracked open, I think the rest is going to be just a smooth time for you.
I wanted to love it. We found the food kind of bland.
Okay.
And, that was starting out with the appetizer, the main entree. I wasn't blown away, so I kind of, I know. I was like, darn it. No, and so I was asking everyone at the table, I was like, maybe it's just mine. I had the chicken kofta.
Okay.
My husband had the spicy chicken kebab. And I tried his, and he's like, and my parents, they had
chicken shawarma.
Chicken shawarma. And they said it was okay. I mean, everything was just kind of. We've had
eat
better.
Middle Eastern food or Eastern Mediterranean
Yeah,
food?
we do. I mean, not like every week or anything, but we've had enough where we have our restaurants where I think we expect that same level.
Right.
And I mean, I wouldn't go back there. Other people may have had different dishes that were great though. So, but yeah, I was a little disappointed.
Okay, so it sounds like it didn't meet your expectations.
Well, I've gotten the chicken dishes, all the ones that you've mentioned, and they've come out, really tender and flavorful.
It was
Maybe
cooked.
it was just an
It was
night.
tender. It
Okay.
just
the flavor wasn't
the
there.
flavor
for you?
wasn't there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, Gary, what'd you think?
So I wanted to love it too, and I went in and I did love it. I mean, I had some really nice. I did the combo platter, where I picked my own. So I got the spicy chicken and I got the beef shawarma. And that was only after we'd gotten the appetizer platter, the sampler.
How'd you feel about that?
The sampler was good. The baba ganoush and the falafel were good.
Well, the hummus,
Yes.
did you have that as well? Did you guys have the
Yeah.
hummus?
Yes.
So the reason why I like the hummus also is it's a huge portion, and they add an olive oil like in the middle. It's
Yes.
really fruity, and it's perfect if you enjoy dipping pita bread or regular bread in oil, and also getting some of that hummus too. And
Well, the chefs, Sam and Nasser, to your point, Sanket, is they actually said it's very hard to find Eastern Mediterranean food or Middle Eastern food that's not pre-made and kind of put in a hot box and then served. And that was something that was very important to them, is to make this all made to order. They will actually even ask for the temperature that you want your meats cooked at with a kebab, which is, not very common.
yeah, absolutely. And to your temperature point, my favorite thing on the menu is their beef kebabs, and the wait staff always asks, how do you like it cooked? And that is a rarity, So I always say medium rare, and it comes out to temperature. But I also get. I've had the lamb bread pie. I don't know if you guys had the chance to eat that. That was, to me, it's one of my go-tos. They have sandwiches there, and you can get different types of meats. You can get anything from the beef kebabs or the shawarma, the chicken that you had mentioned earlier. I've even gotten the shrimp there. Just douse the garlic sauce and the red sauce on it, and then you're in heaven.
Rebecca, it sounds like the food struck out for you, but what did you think of the service?
So our waitress was really sweet. She was nice and, there whenever we needed her. So yeah, the service was was fine.
So we actually hit Dawali on a Sunday night at about 6:20, right before a Steppenwolf performance.
Okay.
And it was bustling. I mean, the Dawali kitchen was just bustling, and it was really had a lot of good energy. And one of the owners came over and spoke to us, and he explained that there was this kind of pre-performance crowd, and then the neighborhood crowd that comes in after performances. So they have it timed, so they know exactly when to come. Exactly. But it was bustling, and I think the service, and considering how bustling it was, the service was phenomenal.
Well, let's talk about this location.
That red line is stop on North and Clybourne is super busy now, and they've got the giant Apple store right there, and it's just there's condominiums going up, and a huge shopping center in that area. You know, it's nice, especially because when I go there, I always see folks that work in that area as well. Just pop in for a quick bite, or you see a to-go line.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people coming in and out.
Yeah, it's a great takeout place. So
Great. You chose Dawali. Sum it up for us.
Sure. Great value, BYOB, and extremely fresh ingredients.
Great. Gary?
Dawali was a unique experience in terms of the cuisine for me, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely go back.
Great. And Rebecca?
It was a little disappointing for my palate, and I wouldn't consider it anything special.
You can try the kebabs for yourself at Dawali, 1625 North Halsted, 312-944-5800. Open for lunch and dinner, Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations are accepted. Alcohol is BYOB, and the average tab per person is $15. Like a lot of us, when Rebecca Haas dines out, she loves to be in her comfort zone. That's why she says that for gourmet food served up in a soothing setting, take a trip with her to the Cottage on Dixie.
They should expect a unique experience. It's very casual, it's very inviting, it's very warm. We have an in-house bakery. We make our cocktails, are crafted, handcrafted, a unique wine selection. The food is farm to table as possible, so they could expect honest food done well. We do food the way it was done years past, to where the food speaks for itself. We do something different than what's from around here. When you do something different, it's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it and it wouldn't be different. We are who we are, and we're going to stick to who we are, and that's our identity, and we're not going to compromise. So it is a place that people can go back to, honest food.
Rebecca, you say you're a regular at Cottage on Dixie.
Yes.
Tell us why you chose it.
Fresh. That's the main thing I think is fresh, prepared that day. If they're out of something, they're going to pull it off the menu. They're not going to go pull something out of the freezer. And they do different menus. So like for every month, they'll do a different cuisine. So it's kind of in addition to their regular menu. It's kind of cool to see what they're going to pull out of their pocket every month. So yeah, I mean, it keeps us going there.
I know.
my turn.
I wanted to. I wanted to like it, and it's definitely their staff is very knowledgeable. They did come up with that farm to table concept, and they were very educational in that. But I also feel that that's kind of now more of just more of a gimmick a little bit, and it's nowadays and wherever you go, it is pretty much farm to table. It feels like. The food was good. I mean, it wasn't terrible or anything like that. It was fresh. I definitely agree with you. But again, for the distance for me, to travel out there, plus kind of the price points. It was like 35 miles away from our house. So I mean, and as soon as we got off I think it was Dixie Highway, and we're like, what area are we in right now? And then you see the cottage, and it is, it looks great. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fantastic. So we were getting excited, and then they started off with an amuse, and it's compliments of the chef, and it came directly from their garden out back, and it was a salad with some blueberries, kind of this raspberry sauce, and then some nuts, and it was amazing. So we were really pumped up for the rest of the menu. But then after that, it kind of just fell a little bit short, in some of the dishes that we had ordered.
Well, Gary, what'd you think?
I went on a weeknight, and there was a party of 5 of us, and friends that I know weren't going to have a bad time together, and we tried all the different cocktails. To be honest. Well, there were 5 of us, so we tried 5 different cocktails, and they were very flavorful. And we had the cheese and meat board, which I can make a whole meal out of meat and cheeses, but and it was a very wonderful experience, and they were very attentive. And we started out with salads. I had the cottage salad. It had wonderful fruit and figs and cheeses and actually in the salad, and it was very flavorful. One of the folks as part of our party ordered the venison, which was a little risky for me, just because I'm not always that adventuresome.
We were going to order that too.
Yeah, but I tasted it, and it was quite flavorful. I had the demi fillets, which were really, really good. I usually don't cook beef at home, so when I go out, I like to order it. And they did it really well. I had a nice tomato salad with it, as well as some asparagus, and so that was a really flavorful dish. One of the folks ordered the burger, the cottage burger.
That burger
was it good?
Yeah, that was the one thing that I absolutely
I didn't ask to share
loved.
the burger.
No, that burger was super fresh, and they used this, I think it's a Gruyere cheese, and some aioli, and this bun that I think was either made that day or at least super fresh, and the flavors went together perfectly. So that was the one dish that we ranted and raved about.
Well, you picked up on something, because they make all their bread fresh in-house that day, and they grind their own meat, combination, and all the sauce of aioli is made in-house. So everything there is, they do try to make all their bitters and tonics for their bar program in-house, all their soft cheeses, their meats, and all of their breads.
Well, we got the the garden that's back there. We ordered the vegetable tempura, and I will say that was pretty good as well.
Good.
And these zucchinis and mushrooms were ginormous. So that was good, and I get that concept as well. So that was nice.
Rebecca, you recently had your wedding reception there,
did.
so clearly you love this place. So what are some other things aside from the food that you really love about it?
The wait staff is great. We'll go in sometimes, you want to drink maybe after work. We don't always want to go to a loud bar, and there's not really a lot of more sophisticated areas to just sit down and have a drink. So we'll go in there, have a nice quiet drink, 2 maybe, and then we can go on our way. It's comfortable for us, and we have to drive the same distance whenever we go to the city as anyone coming out here. And if it's for good food, we'll drive far.
Right.
We'll drive far for it to check it out.
There's a real family sense to the staff.
Yeah.
And in fact, our server, she lived right across the street, I think.
Of course.
And her daughter was also part of the staff, and there's a real sense that the owners and the management have done a really good job at creating that kind of family feel to it.
Rebecca, you chose Cottage on Dixie. Sum it up for us.
Great dining in the south suburbs that is reasonably priced and worth the drive if you're not from the area.
Great. And Gary?
Wonderful staff, wonderful decor, wonderful experience.
And Sanket?
If you're in the area, grab the burger. Otherwise, I think there's options at home, closer to home.
You can judge for yourself at Cottage on Dixie, 18849 Dixie Highway in Homewood, 708-798-8263. Open for lunch and dinner every day, and also brunch on weekends. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $40. So on this week's show, we featured Lady Gregory's in Andersonville, Dawali in Lincoln Park, and Cottage on Dixie in Homewood. Let's recap what our guests had to say. First, we made our way to Clark Street and checked out Lady Gregory's. Gary recommends it and says it's a welcoming pub in a great neighborhood. Rebecca was pleasantly surprised with the fresh and delicious fare. Sankit was blown away by the service and Irish pub cuisine. Next, we hung out on Halstead and stopped in at Dawali. Sankit recommends it for the best falafel and other Mediterranean fare in town. Gary loved the food and thought the quality was exceptional. Rebecca was disappointed in the food and wished there was more flavor. Lastly, we went down the Dixie Highway and tried Cottage on Dixie. Rebecca recommends it for exceptional farm-to-table cuisine and a relaxing atmosphere. Gary had a really nice time and very attentive service. Sankit thought the food was just okay. We've had a wonderful time this week. I want to thank my guests, Gary Norcross, Sankit Shah, and Rebecca Haas. Join us next week for 3 new guests recommending 3 of their favorite restaurants right here on Check Please. I'm Catherine Diorio, and I'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.
For more information about the restaurants featured on Check Please, go to WTTW.com/checkplease.